whatever it is, wherever you are. Alright, so we've got something that works. Another thing I just noticed is that we really need some loading feedback. Oh, and loading feedback. Do indexes help with this? And I can probably streamline this by hash-length search specialization, because really you only need to search one field if it's that, and you don't need to search if it's not that. So that's a bunch of optimization stuff. Oh, and repo split. So I should probably just do that. I'm just like accumulating this unnecessary history here. Let's see. Split repo. Keeping subtree. Ultimate, it's merging strategy, merging two branches. Okay, that's a merge. So this is going to be a confusing term. Split a Git repository. Getting a subfolder out into a new repository. Current working directory. Clone the repository that contains the subfolder. And then filter branch the other stuff out. I guess I should probably double check that it's always been here. Well, I mean, I think the history can go back. Okay, that should just be notes. So the first versions of this. Oh, so maybe this is more unstage changes. Oh, no. Or am I thinking of the other thing that lets you view everything? So you probably have to go a ways back. So what I really want is the history for a file, and maybe this doesn't do it. Or maybe... I know my tool on the other system, my other computer has a nice one. But you only have unstaged changes. Browse files. This looks like a blame. So if we do tree, diff old version, new version. I guess I only want to need the results. I just didn't want as much history as I could. Git K. Okay. Do we have git K? Okay, this is git K. Oop. Which definitely does not have good UI affordances for this. Okay, so this was completely created at this path. So yeah. That might work. Okay. So we need a new repository. Git clone. You can also do this with a name, right? Oh, yeah, the folder that contains it. So this would be, that's mostly going to be the Ruby project. Which I guess makes it ambiguous that. All right. Git status. All right, so this is a copy. I'd like to create a separate repository from. But it's prune empty. Rewrite git history. Only rewrite the positive refs. Different object names. Different object names and will not converge with the original branch. Okay, so we'll have the history. It won't be shared in any way. Then a real filter. Okay, setup command. The history where it touches the given subdirectory, the result will contain that directory as its project root. Subdirectory filter. Need to modify the environment. Rewriting the tree and its contents. No ignore rules. Regarding the index, this does not check out the tree. Its parent list. Performing the commit. Rewriting tag names. Generate empty commits that leave the tree untouched. Okay, yeah. Original commits. Temporary directory. Okay. Prune empty. Subdirectory filter. And master is probably implied. All right, apparently we can do this. All right, and this is, looks like it's root. Okay, cool. Now I was starting to make my notes changes there, and I might need to update. I might need to update some get ignore stuff. All right, so you're here. All right, so, okay, we figured out to do a proper copy on this. So that takes care of you. This file will not exist. You are in that subdirectory. Edit.get ignore. Okay, so that's the one we need, because that's a compiled file. Oh, I was calling this project Family Tree Viewer. Well, that's just a directory name at this point. Not Family Tree UI. Can I rename here? No. Although, we've got some windows open. Oh no, I did close that. Oh, right, we've got windows. We've got terminals. And all the Elm stuff. It's going to go away. Compiler's going to go away. Database, UI. So it is that, but that's not what I called the Elm project. And okay, the pin didn't pick it up. So I think that one's good. Then we go into here. We drop that. You had your own notes, right? Yep. Oh, and Elm stuff. We still have no. Oh, it's not going to be UI. It should be public. We neither right now. Uh, extracted UI to separate project. Extracted. I probably am going to need to work there. Okay, so notes, we set up our own git ignore. I guess we should make sure everything is working and ignored while we're at this. And get a reactor going. All right, that still looks good. Yeah, there's some stuff that I've really been putting off. Oh, the sample files didn't get included because they were in ignore filters. Okay. You are family trees. Notes. All right, so some of this is actually back end. All right, so this is optimization. This could either be front end or back end as far as which search term we use. So that's optimization. This was really slightly bothering me in a feedback perspective. I'd kind of want that before we publish, so we're not moving stuff around afterwards. So back here, when we do a search, it might be a little bit warmed up now. But this is where we need, let's see, that is, one of the recommended patterns for that is to have a sort of like extended maybe. Or one of the patterns we've seen on that. So right now, it's an array, and we rely on it being an array to possibly be empty. That's a life. Okay, life model. But that can be loading. This is a state change. We don't currently have any internal data we could do that maybe style thing on. So actually I was able to do this down here. And you can be not requested, loading. I guess it could also be failed. I do have error handlers that I don't really do anything with. Now it's an HTTP error. Matching lives, and we are just debug logging it right now without getting into anything. All right. So you become that. Now this is going to complicate everywhere we deal with this. Lives equals data. And there is a point UI search, fetch matching lives. Just gonna start to complicate this. And you are not another bar, you are a comma. You can actually do something. We start up new compiler, right? Oh, you're not a type alias, you're a type. Oh, you know what? Because the view is going to have to respond to this, it currently has to define it, unless I want to start defining a header file, essentially, for types. And then the view has to know about HTTP. All right, so I'm probably doing is using lives in an array-like way. Alright, so we've got search box, we've got show result. Now, show result should probably be a thing that takes an array. Although we might have to do some other method to keep that all together. Does the name show result refer to the thing that can fail, or to the actual data? Perhaps. And then you deal actually, do you have I'm in dark mode, aren't I? Actually, you know what? I think Chrome just defaults to giving pages their expected colors, maybe? Yeah, so I sort of appreciate what Firefox is doing, but so many sites do not set either foreground or background color and not the other. None. Loading, we want to put something in here. Data, well, show matching lives, model lives. This failed, error. So I can't just debug log that. If I want to get something else, I actually have to care about the structure of it. If I can even say anything about errors. Type error. Huh. Your JSON decoder. I mean, we're still debug outing it. So if we want to give useful feedback, well, I mean, we can just do and we probably do want to useful feedback. Show matching lives definition. Oh. Okay. This is not the part that we care about. Okay, so yeah, we'd like to improve that. Can we to element.text. Nope. Expects 2 arguments, but got 3 instead. Ah. And it interprets these as 2 separate arguments to the original function. So that might actually be a little bit too remote from here. I'd also kind of like to, I mean, I guess that leaves you here if you want to research. Maybe we should disable that field while a request is pending? Oop, we just searched for Eve. But now is that our search box? Yep. Now it needs to know about the request status. Oh, I don't currently have the life definition here. Well, all you really need to know is that it's remote data. As long as you don't look at the internals. And we had to use straight up HTML to get that. Or to get the change event rather than the per character change event. And loading has no parameters. Request equals loading. Remote data, oops. Misplaced U. Okay, so the disabled effect is a little weird in this color scheme. So I don't know. I don't suppose. Loading in CSS. Well, oh. So this is like a big old package. Double bounce. Loading state. I don't know. It seems like the CSS package would be kind of a heavy dependency for this. According to the loading state. So that would be easy. Right, because you got all the different submodules. Yeah, so I don't know what state of the art in terms of easy loading indicators is. And I don't think Ico Moon has animated stuff. "2016 best practices." So this isn't really technical. This is like UI design. Probably need to be more specific about that. jQuery plugins. CSS SVG. This actually looks very similar to the Elm project. Hmm. Then JavaScript. The overwhelming choices. So I've already got some SVG stuff. What was MIT permission? Shall be included in all copies or substantial portions. Conditions, license, and copyright notice. Well, Yes, you know what? I don't have a README for this yet. Did I ever put anything in the other project? You are the Ruby side. And yeah, that is actually probably still very out of date. Fill attribute. This is where we start doing a work directory, probably. Also, do we have any other projects? Yes, we got some of that stuff. Oop. Yep. Maybe we should stop there. That enters to state. And maybe that's actually enough for now, because doing a fancy indicator is like pure polish. Apparently, I moved that around. Okay. Loading feedback. But what I want to do in sort of future stuff is nice our loading indicator and maybe error feedback. Now this is only loading feedback here. What do we do with the trees seem to be rendering faster, although there are much larger trees. Fetch family tree. Which which returns with a graph text, which we don't currently store. So in order to use that particular loading model, this could actually work really nice with a custom element. Now I have been thinking about it might be nice to do this in software rendering. Line and bar, general. Yeah, so the problem is that there's like line graphs, and then there's the node graphs. Mathematical graphs. Okay, so this doesn't do any drawing or layout, I think. Well, they've got a routine to generate the graph phys file if you laid it out. Although it's kind of a debugging routine, so it wouldn't really have all of our styling. Yeah, right kind of graph doesn't do layout. Well, this is nodes and edges again. Transforms, characterization, traversals. Alright, so they can convert it to a dot, which once again won't necessarily have our styling. Yeah, so if I wanted to do layout, I'm still be doing some sort of JavaScript library. Alright, we were wondering if there was a better way to do this with data in model. And I can still keep the data around. Oh, you know what? This is definitely out of date. Remove prototype, graph render. All right. Right, loading feedback. It's just a string right now. We really only need that to be, I mean, yeah, that could be like remote data bool for all good it does us. All right, graph text. Equals data text. When we, oh, and we can record an error. And when we fetch that, we would also want to say that graph text equals loading. Okay, so the only instance of that. We didn't use graph text before, so something's going to fail based on it. We'll just go into display mode. So we've got our search box, we've got our back button. So how do we do the other one? Oh, it was show result, which is overly generic. So you are just, oh, when we get our result back, that element has to exist. Because we're going to port it over there. Which might not leave us much room for loading. So this would just be just that information. It's going to look a lot like show results. Maybe there's even a way I could reuse that. Now this one doesn't need the model. So you can be a remote data A. None. Change rate to needs 2 arguments. Changed my init. Lives. Okay, so we don't get the loading nicely centered because we are allocating all of our space to this thing. Now I could have the element exist since it's got an ID, but be at a smaller size. But this is probably fine. At least for now. Okay, I think we're done with those. Show loading for graph. All right, to make it publishable, well, I probably do need to get. Well, okay, so part of the SVG stuff is actually sort of part of that. So you've got work. Now this one, I'd grab Twitch out of this, but it's not particularly related to that. Do I have any other things I've done this for where I've already plucked out just the two? You didn't use it. Your Twitch. Your Twitch. All right, now that's the script. Script. OBS mic check. I had a bunch of things in there. That's Twitch, it's YouTube. Okay, so I mean, having that extra little bit in there wouldn't really hurt. Oh, unless it's all in one file. How do we publish this? Okay, symbol defs. So it is all in one file, which is unnecessary. Now, I don't remember if Ikomoon does any account stuff. Okay, so yeah, I'm not even sure I'm logged into anything. So we had that one. So this might be, let's see, are the branding icons all in here, or are they? Yeah, they're all here. I don't really have anything else. And as a credit style thing, I could maybe do a page of like 1 hour 1 life tools at some point. All right, so you were fine. Ain't not. No, you want. And we're gonna have that underneath the zip. All right, so we think I already have that. I already have that. I may have even already had symbol defs. Now I might need some other support files. Did you have a separate style? Or did I have that as an in here already since it was a separate file? No. Oh, I'm going to have to get more specific about my SVGs. So is graph the SVG or is it like a child of it? Okay, it's a child of graph. We don't have you. Oh, you are probably in dark mode. So it was stream credits that had a light mode. No, not with stream credits. Schedule, the other S project. Okay. Maybe you'd be okay with a CSS file. Okay, so svg.icon. Dark mode, light mode. Which doesn't, this isn't really light mode. And we don't need you. Oh, now icon. And you've got a particularly complicated one. What was my other project that did UI? Because you're probably going to complicate things. Not you. Was that stream credits? Yes. Icon. Okay, that's a different setup. Okay, so row, region, icon. Oh, and you were doing a login thing, so I'm actually not going to need quite as much of that. Oops. Didn't grab the right thing there. All right, region footer. Oh, I didn't define scale in this one. I might need to do, that's actually something else I've been meaning to do as part of the setup, or the UI stuff. All right, but okay, so scaled. Oh, but that means I need to know my height, doesn't it? Now, height was more significant for this application. Window height, window height. Model.window height. Which is its own little production. All right, so maybe we have to wait on that. Well, the other way to do that, and I'm gonna need height everywhere. Leading and trailing doesn't matter. It's like so much, these things actually, and like heading maybe as examples. Yeah, you actually only use scaled. And we could put a dummy value in there. Because getting window height is going to be production. All right, different project. Well, this actually has a whole series of projects behind it. Oh, that's right, we need the SVG library just for this. Which I probably need to install. Is it LMSVG? All right, everything's gonna be broken right now. Okay, that is actually constant. Oh, that's actually a constant scale. So that's okay. Oh, spacing. That's your spacing. Oh, we have the. You know what? How much do we use from input? button text. Label. Well, actually, that's not terribly hard to figure out. Because we're really kind of loading up on these element things, or these text things. HTML text, okay. The thing we do know that is an input was our search box, which doesn't even use the input library. Do we still need the input library? I think yeah, I had a button. Are you? Yes. Region. Oh, it actually compiles. It's probably going to look terrible. And we've not actually called the footer anywhere. What are you? You are your main view. So we did in front. Why did you take a model? For some state stuff that doesn't apply here. So this is going to be like our main layout. Main layout? Okay, so I was doing the inline CSS. So we had an HTML wrapper with... Oh, so their way is to actually do all this stuff here instead of CSS. So my layout is... Actually, I do have two layouts. Are viewed as a high-level switch. So it's a little bit different. Query, display. In front, display footer. There it goes. Okay, so Right. Was that the light? Is that really the light mode colors? That feels like the dark mode colors. And we missed a... Oh, right, had to think about this. So right now, it depends on... Well, it's eventually going to be... Can't actually check that one yet. It's going to depend on... And right now, it's actually doing the rendering. Which is a little bit crazy. Right, that one doesn't exist, so it hasn't been visited. Am I sure I grabbed the light color scheme? Oh, there's another light context there. No, that actually makes it worse. Maybe it was intentionally trying to make it subtle. Well, I'm not really doing a color thing on this per se. So maybe you just don't need color? And I guess it'd be nice if there was some feedback there. So the other issue I've got is that the 101 Life setup, it tends to be white on black. But the graphs I'm returning, even if I switched my stuff around, yeah, and then I've got to fix the colors in the library. Yeah. So I'd have to be doing some adjustments on the rendering end. So that will have to be a project for later. Now, are you actually done? Yes, you are actually done in UI, which wants to do the inline colors everywhere. But I'd have to repeat that for every element. I might be able to do this thing. Background.color, border.color, focus style? Ah, that would be for general elements. Background dot color. Okay, so background is its own thing. How about links? Oh, temporary styling. Mouse over and focused. A decoration is a attribute. Decoration. Is a temporary. There's an attribute never never. A list of decorations. Right. Uh, so attributes normally have never never? That has, maybe that's the internal definition, and this normally only has one argument? Do you have this as a package? What returns an attribute? Okay, so width has, oh, there was something in there about attribute blank. It's padding, blah, 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 blah. Okay, temporary styling. So the elements way to do this would be mouse over or focused. Oh, CSS kind of worked okay. Unless you're overriding it. Because really what we just want to do is pick colors that are not terrible. This was originally trying to blend in with Twitch. If we don't do this, then we don't get anything. So link visited. Hover active. So standard ones are blue. Do we have anything that's just a plain old page? So this has its own color scheme. Yeah, how often do you see a plain old page? This is kind of close. So I guess part of the standard thing is, yeah, not necessarily a color change. Which you can't even see. Well, I don't know if it's that or being off the screen. View. Compile already? Okay, it's there. It's just okay. So we should probably have a little bit of padding here. Hmm. That blue like jumps out too much for a background element. So blue is RGB. And how do you hold up in the other page? Oh. Oh, well, I mean, that's actually kind of good because it is a link. Okay. Overlay's fine. Symbol defs, all of that stuff. Oh, this is where we need a README for the credits. Hmm. Let's see. Web UI for searching characters and displaying family tree graphs from a life data server. It does sort of have URL parameters at present. I put no other command, yeah. Okay, Ico credits Ico Moon. Interesting that that's not linked, but all right. So currently our URL parameters are well. Uh, search results include the parameters to. I mean, this isn't really like a parameter you would put in. It's just it's a link. Figure it out. So there's that. We might want to come back and do that stuff. Depends on Which also well, depends on a server. Which uses my trees, and this will eventually, I'm hoping, turn into a data package. Because this has the dependency on GraphViz, which, well, I need to get client-side rendering before I can do that, but which I'd kind of like to separate from the data. All right. Git add readme work public. Include Reddit icons and links, which is one thing down. And I need more water. I will be back in a few minutes. Ammonium factory. Okay, so that's still having issues. Man, the rover. Just bloop, 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 bloop. Actually, you know what? I thought I was able to... No, I guess I gotta have a thing that's appearing. Anyway. Oh! That counted as... Are you kidding me? That counted as... Let's see if I can make these... switch back to normal mode. Okay, I don't have a lot of control over it, but...
You'll never take us alive! Unknown research?
Okay,
More research? More research? A lot of research over here. Good stuffs.
So I want to like alt right click that edge. If I bring this up, how does that look? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, that's much softer. And then yeah, this back face actually, I'm glad I selected that. I need to move this down here.
And welcome back. Alright, so... Well, this is taking longer than I was hoping. So could definitely use some for cleanup. But to make it publishable, might need to do some data server stuff. So I would like to experiment with whether indexes actually make a search. Well, actually, I guess while it's slow, it'll be easier to observe other things. So live search. How big is a character hash? You're an alternate project. You're an alternate project. Your family tree viewer. Okay. So a hash is a 40-character string. If query.length is exactly equal to 40, ooh, I put a like in here. I should probably make that an I like. Where all right, so that will make the database do a little bit less work. And that should still find, I guess if I'm going to say hashes, I should probably make that be a bigger field, huh? So working on that. Search box. That did get a little bit large. And this is HTML input. It's a size field. I believe. So how does 40 look? Oh, it actually takes int. Still a little bit short. I kind of had a feeling we need a little bit of extra. Can I tell how cut off that is? Let's look at maybe we need 42. Obviously, that's the answer. Now, I guess it was a proportional font. So this is easier to do in a, well, a Vim. So if it's a fat character, maybe 8. Oop. Unsurprisingly not found. Oh, no, okay, it still fits. Alright, so that's a small optimization here. And actually, I could turn this into a single thing for this as well with the same idea. Alright, so that is just a small optimization. Alright, my other project updated because I've been removing the front end code, but it's locked up. So only do hash search if right length. Include hash and search label. All right. Notes. Wrong project. That's another nicety. But I would like it to be faster. Data server. Oh. RLG. We're going to, well, or did I already? Well, I'm in a position to see if it actually matters. Styling. Index. Oh, so you've actually got a name. No. So that actually is indexed. I'm curious if it affects the partial searches particularly. Oh, yeah. All right, I had some other migrations that were indexes, right? Yeah. Add index lives, name. I can make the fan spin a little bit. I guess I had to build the index. I probably should have gotten better. Oh, that's right. We need to. I want to do a full reload. All right. So for no name, not really sure that helped. Well, it certainly helps for those. One of my other ones. Well, I mean, that's at least tolerable. Yeah, it actually seems to be faster on the substrings. Huh. I guess, well, you know what, there's a limit, so it might just be able to get that many results and stop instead of scanning everybody. Specifically Postgres. Index with like, does it help? Full text search does not support like. Trigram. Not just left anchored. Okay, well, it is left anchored. Size of the index. Light query performance. Repeated light queries. Index. Okay, so we can verify if the index is being used with that. Oh, I guess there's also the server report. Point two. Yeah, Susan 0.2, Susan Lee 2.47. Eve Collin. I don't know. I mean, we would have had some of these others back here somewhere. Oh, there's schema migrations. There's the hash. Oh, no. That didn't really make a difference. Well, I've got a full query here. Which one do we need? Oh, actually, this isn't a Rails console if we've got a string. This is... all right, so can we... Nope, not this one. Now explain. I did it with... Is it a prefix or a postfix? Analyze. Filter. And text, Eve colon text. So actually, rows removed by filter. Planning time, execution time. Parallel sequence scan. So it is not able to use an index there. Now is that I like, or is that any of those? Parallel sequence scan. Oop. Index scan. Yeah, so if, that's almost fast enough to be worth checking an exact match first. Although I'm not set up to do multiple queries. And my other condition is still have to kind of redo the query anyway. So somebody said they found on parcel's position. Wait, but that's a literal someone's name? So you create an index every single time? The string being search was fixed. I guess they're looking for changes in the data. Searching for ranges. It's not. I guess the trigram full text search. Trigram indexes for like. Finding similar strings. Regular expression with branches. Only good. Well, this might be a particular type of index. Oh, I could facilitate with trigram. Text search, fuzzy matching. Regular expressions internally. So is this a part, well, the schema file does not indicate any special kind of index. No, that's index lives. Index lives on name. Operator classes and operator families. Text pattern ops, varchar pattern ops, bchar, support btree indexes, text, varchar, and char. Our name is, oh. Well, that might be, Uh, must be backslash. Available help. General, informational, list tables, views, and sequences. Describe table, view, sequence, or index. It is a character varying, which would have to be a varchar, right? So we would actually, I seem to have selected expressions and operator classes. Expression indexes, add index. Okay, so that's that expression. Operator classes. Okay, so you would use the expression with that. So we would want to Rails DB rollback. Name index. All right, add index table. Maybe I need to do a name for it now? Okay, that failed. Column lives does not exist. In what table? This is 2016. Do we need name? No, all right, so what was the Postgres syntax? No. Oh, well, we can see double parentheses, so that's not it. Wait. Create index on table. Huh. Oh, just a typo. And I might have to actually build the index. All right, so we had our exact search, which is a little bit slower. I like, without a pattern, is just as slow. I like with a pattern is just as slow. So that's done nothing for us. Now, yeah. That did add, it seems to be there. And it's made no appreciable difference in performance. All right. Easier from here. So that was unfortunately not helpful. Now, maybe there's other things that could be done there. That's as much time as I want to spend on it right now. All right, did anybody change during that? You shouldn't have. You updated again, apparently. That's just a node update. All right. So I eventually want to do some things where I can return different data for this. So right now everything goes through here. And we rendered them as point presenters, which I could maybe use the coordinates to link to the map once the map supports that stuff. So chain lineage name, ID. So this is all stuff that we might, I mean, it might eventually want names and things to show up on the map. But I think what's really going to be different is I'm going to want for the search results, I may want to do like depth of tree, and I'm concerned that that could get, I guess I don't know how slow it is. That could get slow. Life search. So if we just search result, index, maybe later. Okay. Grouping. Dot, well, I think that might just be an alias for the table. Add a column. Is this even just simple group by though? This is more like a subquery. How big was the family you were part of? So maybe I actually don't do specialization yet. I could theoretically remove points from these search results, but there's a potential application for that. I could remove some of the extra fields from the point data results, but I'd also like to get that data on the map sometime. Maybe that's a case where having found a player, you go ask for the name. Well, that does mean I have to return server ID, epoch, and the other ID information. Well, optimization might be more of a transfer thing first. So that's going to go down the list. Well, that person was playing a bit. Maybe that was in the early hours, and there weren't a whole lot of families around. So this could maybe use a little bit of padding. Oh, some of the styling, yeah, some of the styling might have been colors. All right, search box, L. Not a lot necessarily. Oop. Helps a little bit. Oh, that's padding all around. Oh, I might be able to make this white and the rest one life color. Although that would not, and I'd have to have a bar for this stuff. Hmm. And I am going to have to, what I found before was I have to override, not in style necessarily. Oh, that doesn't help. No. Yeah, and then you need your stuff specified separately. And this, yeah, the lack of a single top level layout is starting to become troublesome. So can we actually do that? Maybe? Yeah. Layout. Now, does this actually work? with all, oh, well, can't see anything. Okay, that works for you. That works for you. Maybe we should well, we could do background is going to become not entirely black. Foreground is going to become not entirely white. So we can still read stuff. While we work this out. Oh, the other aesthetic would be to do the paper effect. View, layout. Background color, border color. That defines, oh, and then we have to specify a color. How do you specify the color of what? Maybe that's font color? Font.color, font.blah, font.blah, font.blah. Font.color. Which has to be these specific things. RGB, 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 RGB. Font.color. Oh, 0 and 1. Background.color. I have to import background. RGB. Oh, and yes, now I do see it. Oh, I should probably be ordering these two. All right, so that is completely overwriting style stuff. We're going to need to revisit, right, because I originally grabbed the light colors. Actually, the GitHub's working okay. Maybe I must have grabbed the wrong colors. Okay. That's got most of the stuff. So now this actually does need to be something similar to what it was. Not sure. Well, I guess a true one life aesthetic would be to turn these into buttons. But that's going to be some fancy border stuff. So then to make this look good, yeah, so these need to have their own background. Footer. Font.size. Background, RGB. Oh. What? Oh. Wait, how did that work before? It did turn black. Well, the important part is there. And then how do we... So in this view, no, not you, row, show loading. This specifically, so the loading's a little bit weird there. And that might look better if it was... not cut out like that. Which I could do if I moved layout back down here. I actually do almost want to soften those colors a little bit. So step one. All right, so that actually needs to be white, white. To match the graphic. Footer. Oh, well. Messed something up there. Font dot color foreground. Background color background. Oh, no, I did get these backwards. Okay, and no, it's not even the same as the hex value. Okay, not quite as harsh. I'm guessing that the base game is actually just straight up black and white. That's a little bit softer. It could still use styling, really. But it moves down the priority list a little bit. This is mainly color. And to get the nodes on a similar color scheme, we would need to render it as such. So that might be more of a front-end rendering exercise. All right, so that leaves updating the data server, pointing it at the real server. I don't know if it'd be worth caching these, because it's going to be a bunch of searches. I mean, I guess if it's certain common names, maybe. But I'm doing focus player, so it's not like you can just cache on the line. Hmm. Oh, another thing for later. uh, I mean, which is pretty much just me, and I think Tar published his at some point. But that's almost more of a back-end thing to get a table set up for it. Well, or a front-end thing to let you tag people you know. But I'm not currently sending that information. That's another 40 bytes on each request. 40 characters being encoding. So I think We can just throw this in. All right, so I need to get a repo for that. I need to publish that, update everything, update server, update target URL. And I may... I might want to have some kind of config file that I can vary locally. So right now... Yeah, we've got our data server. So if we do... All config... data server equals... It's going to be very mad at me for a little bit. So that is... Okay, well, that's enough to get it working. Oh, I guess for server checking, bringing up results is faster. All right, and then config. I guess you would actually be live. This is probably going to be handling enough piecemeal requests that it's not worth caching. I suppose if people started sharing lineage trees as links, then maybe those would be worth caching. No, did I do that? I did that without the slash. And that's actually not directly usable right now. Because we haven't published updates to this server in a little bit. All right, so git ignore. So we can have that very locally. Untracked files. Okay, so we got something off here. I may want to separate that. So this is going to be like search server and Oh, data. Cache. And then this we'll have to come back and test out after we get that actually responding properly. I often have the data server changed locally. Copy source config.elm.example to source config.elm and update as needed. Git add. Oh, hey, how about we use those and let it compile? All right, so that works locally. That still works locally. Oh, and I have to figure out where I want to deploy this. It doesn't have any particular need to be with the map, although having a custom URL for it might be handy, which would be a bunch of setup stuff. Oh well, that is a project for later. Meanwhile, thanks for hanging out. Thanks to everybody who hosted me. What do we got going on? We've got a Twitch integrated game. I feel like we're someplace cool to hang out. Zertor is working on a, well, it's an idle game. I guess I don't know if it's a web game or not. But, oh, and this is about when I tend to be on. That's pretty typical. I'll expect to be back on Wednesday if nothing comes up. And, yeah, bye.